It's week 11, okay? So the only thing on our minds at this point is the playoffs.
That's right.
And we're going to give you trade targets to get you there. But more importantly, a lot of these guys are going to help you win the entire thing. I'm going to start off by giving you a mystery trade for. I'm going to give you some hints. You can pause the video at any time and guess. Anytime you want to guess, just comment down below. Say, I guessed it before you said it, okay? Badaki, we did this on the podcast. You guessed it, so you already know.
I already know.
Okay, here's a slight hint. If you've been following this channel, I've been obsessed with this player since about week 3, okay? Right. Specifically in Dynasty, but also in Redraft, okay?
Okay.
This player is averaging 8.5 targets per game. He's currently top 10 at his position. Injuries have plagued his team. The number 1 and number 2 option, I mean, you could call them quote unquote number 1, number 2 options, have been injured, and that's led to more opportunities for this player. He's connected to a defense that gives up the 9th most points to opposing teams.
Okay.
Pause at any time if you have a guess. Okay. He has not had his bye week. No Google searching. No bye week yet.
Okay.
And the last piece of information, the second easiest remaining strength of schedule for his position. Badaki, who is the mystery player?
You want me to tell them?
Tell them.
Jalen Waddle.
It is Jalen Waddle. Congratulations if you guessed it. If you commented down below, Jalen Waddle. Look, 8.5 targets per game. In Dynasty, I'm obsessed with him, but also in Redraft. I think this is a wide receiver 2 going forward. A guy that you can start every week in your flex, or if you need a wide receiver 2. Will Fuller and Devontae Parker both dealing with injuries. The defense has improved, but still bad, so they're going to need to score. And the connection with Tua is underrated. Tua and Jalen are on the same page, and he's getting targeted more than any other player, any other rookie outside of Jamar Chase. He might even have more targets than Jamar Chase. And the second easiest remaining strength of schedule. Hasn't had his bye week, so use that as ammunition to go out and get Jalen Waddle. He can help you win your championship. He really good.
Yeah, but I love it, Jalen Waddle. I mean, I almost guessed it right. I think I guessed Jerry Jeudy first and then Jalen Waddle, but I was close. Yeah. My first trade for target this week is AJ Brown. And yes, he struggled the past 2 weeks. And maybe you're saying, well, they're doubling him and they don't really have Derrick Henry or Julio Jones anymore. I think they're actually trying to find their new identity without these 2 guys. Yeah, okay, with Julio and without Derrick Henry. And they're giving the opportunity to Adrian Peterson and Deontay Foreman. We saw them last week, kind of sharing the workload in the backfield. And they don't necessarily just want to throw the ball to AJ Brown. Hey, AJ, here. You know, like they don't want to overwork him. So they're trying to get other people involved. Yes, he had 2 bad weeks this past week. But if you are in a position to get AJ Brown now, if you were 7-2, maybe 6-4, whatever the case may be,
already primed for playoffs.
Exactly. Why not go get AJ Brown? 2 back-to-back games under 10 fantasy points. This is a great opportunity. Plus, he still hasn't had his bye week. Why not take the opportunity?
I like it, and the talent is there.
Absolutely.
They will figure this out with AJ. But again, the other thing I want to say is New England. So it's Houston this week, but then it's New England and a bye. Those are 2 weeks you can't rely on him. Use that as ammunition to get him for the playoffs. All right, my next trade for target is specifically pointed towards Superflex or 2 quarterback leagues, but I also think it helps those who are in a 1 quarterback league. It's Jalen Hurts. I think this move could help a lot of Superflex and 2 quarterback leagues.
Right.
Players win their championship this year. So far, he's the quarterback 3 this year. He's proved me wrong, because I didn't have him ranked this high in redraft.
No.
I still don't believe in him in Dynasty, but for redraft purposes, he's been so good.
Yeah.
While he's not been great in real life, we don't care because we just talk about fantasy. Okay.
Correct.
So he's been great as a fantasy quarterback. And a lot of that has to do with his rushing upside. Okay. He's averaging just under 55 rush yards per game.
Right.
In 10 games so far, he has 5 rushing touchdowns. This provides you such a safe floor. Anytime you have a mobile quarterback, it's always going to help you in fantasy. And it's all about the playoffs, baby. Okay? Check this out. For the playoffs, he's got Washington, the Giants, Washington again, and then Dallas. All teams that give up a lot of points to quarterbacks.
Okay.
His bye is in week 14, so if you need some ammunition, maybe Jalen Hurts is on a team that needs to win to get to the playoffs. Hey, you're not going to be able to rely on Jalen Hurts in week 14. Give him to me. I'll give you something else in return. I like getting Jalen Hurts as your quarterback 1 or quarterback 2 in a super flex.
Yeah, I love it. Jalen Hurts is like he's doing his thing right now. My second trade for target is Cordell Patterson. And once again, this is all about playoffs. If you're in a position to get Cordell Patterson, if you're a guy that already knows that you're going to be making the playoffs, why not go get Cordell Patterson? He's most likely going to be missing the Thursday night game against the Patriots. And he's banged up right now. So he's probably going to miss next week. It's a short week. And then he's probably going to come back the week after. It's clear that Mike Davis is not the guy in the backfield. They want to get rid of him. And
I don't think he got more than 4 touches.
No, he didn't
last week.
No.
Even with Patterson injured, they're done with him.
So I think they're done with him. And Cordell Patterson is the guy moving forward, at least for the rest of the year. If you really look at Cordell Patterson's, logs, he's only had 2 bad games. One in week 1, and literally last week, all under 10 points. Those 2 games under 10 points. He has been absolutely fantastic in fantasy. He's been getting targets. He's reliable. He finds the end zone. And also, the only target they really have is Kyle Pitts, and they've been doubling him. So Cordell Patterson is really the only guy. Calvin Ridley,
he's so necessary.
Exactly. Calvin Ridley is obviously dealing with personal issues, so I think he's done for the season. So why not go get Patterson on the low right now if you need just that extra oomph for the playoffs?
Could be like the best flex possible
100%
that you could think of. All right, my next trade for is Kareem Hunt. Again, another move that you only make if you feel like you're going to make the playoffs, okay? Right. Before Kareem Hunt's injury, he was the running back 9 in PPR formats.
Yeah, he was balling.
In 6 games, he had 5 touchdowns. And oddly enough, on the goal line, they were using him heavily over Nick Chubb, and it wasn't an accident. There was like multiple games where they just kept giving it to Kareem Hunt on the goal line. It wasn't they both get the work. It just ended up being in Hunt's favor. It felt on purpose to me. I still think Chubb's going to get his on the goal line, but there's got to be a reason as to why they were doing that. I think it's because they trust him on the goal line. When he comes back from this injury, I personally view him as an instant 15 to 20, a top 15 to 20 PPR option at the running back position. The question is, when will he come back? Well, there's good news and there's bad news. Bad news is we don't really know. Okay. But the good news is you can use that as ammunition to go trade for him. 4 weeks ago, it was reported that he would be out 4 to 6 weeks. Okay. So worst case scenario, they have a bye in week 13. Right. He comes back after that. Use this as ammunition to get Kareem Hunt because in the playoffs, he has the second best playoff schedule for a running back. Baltimore, Las Vegas, and Green Bay, all teams that give up a ton of points to the running back position. This is a move that could end up helping you win your championship this year.
Yeah, I love it. And with all these guys getting hurt, you kind of need the depth. And that kind of leads me to my last and final trade for target. And it's not necessarily one person, but it is a group of people. Grab your backups just in case. Okay, get it here and now. It's 3 weeks away from playoffs. And if you are in that playoff position, maybe you might lose in some trades, but it's actually worth it if you are a CMC owner, if you are a Nick Chubb owner, and an Aaron Jones owner. Obviously, AJ Dillon won off last week. The JT owner, maybe Nyheim Hines can take off. If any of those guys goes down, at least you're not scrambling to figure out.
You need the insurance.
Yeah, you're not scrambling to figure out, okay, what am I going to do in the playoffs? Maybe this happens in the playoffs, and we actually do win in that playoff week. At least you have the backup for the next week. Okay, you need to get these guys. Tony Pollard, even maybe Alexander Madison, a Mark Ingram with Kamara being hurt. Like I said, Nyheim Hines or JT does go down. Plus, COVID is kind of circling right now. Obviously, you see Big Ben, Nick Chubb going down with COVID. You kind of need these guys now. So see what you can get for them and get them rostered.
I like it. I really, really like it. I mean, at any point, because of COVID, any superstar could not play at any point.
And this is so crucial, especially during playoffs.
As an AJ or as an Aaron Jones owner, I wish I had AJ Dillon. So I like it. You're right. You're going to lose on some trades, but it's worth it to secure the handcuff, if you will. Yeah. All right, we're going to give you 2 tradeaways now. My first one is Dalton Schultz. I have been not on the Dalton Schultz train, and I'm not taking a victory lap. I'm just telling you it's time. It's your time, whether you've been on or off it, to officially remove yourself from that train.
Right.
He's the tight end 8 this year. But a lot of that production came when Michael Gallup was injured. Michael Gallup injured in week 1 versus Tampa Bay.
Right.
And Michael Gallup just came back this week from that injury. Here's Dalton Schultz stats from this week with Michael Gallup in the game. 1 catch on 2 targets for 14 yards. There's too many cooks in the kitchen, okay? Right. When you have studs like Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Tony Pollard, Zeke, even Blake Jarwin deserves some targets. All those players, it means guys like Dalton Schultz don't deserve a target share that they used to have. So I just don't see him being a consistent option going forward. Names, I don't think you can really get a lot for him return, but I'm trying to slip him into trade packages so I can get a better tight end return. These are all tight ends that I would prefer to have over him. Pat Fryermuth, Hunter Henry, Dawson Knox, Logan Thomas, Gronk. Yes, Gronk. And the most important, please get this deal done. Dream scenario would be Dan Arnold, who I think is a must-start tight end going forward.
Yeah, I love it. And I mean, it makes sense. Obviously, the tight end position is always up and down. And once again, it leads me to my last and final trade for a target, and that's TJ Hawkinson. Obviously, one target.
Trade away, right?
Trade away. Yes, trade away. One target last week, and I don't want somebody that has been up and down. Obviously, he had 3 decent weeks, but after that, he's been kind of inconsistent. What's surprising is that he's tight end 5 of the year, and this is how you can sell it. Hey, he's tight end 5. He's really the only target on this team. But I need consistency, especially during the playoffs. Remember, we are in playoff season. It's coming up really soon. We want these guys that are guaranteed points. And kind of like what Zach said, I'd rather have a Pat Fryermuth, a Hunter Henry, a Dawson Knox, a Dan Arnold. I'd rather have those guys over TJ Hawkinson. I'm actually going to be packaging TJ Hawkinson and be like, hey, tight end 5, you need a tight end, and give me a lower end tight end and maybe give me another piece as well. And the schedule is not the best, okay? Chicago, Minnesota, Denver, and Arizona is pretty tough for the tight end position here in that schedule. So I'm actually trading away TJ Hawkinson now.
I like it. I think his name value carries a lot as 100%. Well. So I think you could get any of those tight ends we mentioned plus something for TJ Hawkinson. So I like it. Those are our trade for tradeaways. Let us know in the comments if you got any questions.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos,
watch it.
You can also subscribe
right now
if you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.